Every Thursday, without fail, he would sit near the neem tree at the far end of the weekly bazaar. A frail old man with a crooked back and trembling fingers that somehow still moved with exactness. He didn't have a nameplate or a stall, just a square of sackcloth, an old rusted toolbox with a broken hinge, and a few steel utensils placed in front of him, all bent, bruised, waiting. People came, handed him their damaged spoons, ladles, pans, pots. They didn't say much, he didn't either. He'd nod, take the piece and begin. Tap, twist, test. Tap, twist, test. The sound of a small hammer doing big work. A soft metallic rhythm lost amid the bazaar's louder noise. Vendors yelling rates of vegetables, children tugging at hams for sweets, goats occasionally bleating. He charged half a rupee and would fix 3 items for just 1 rupee. That's it. No one offered him extra, no one asked why so little. No one brought him a glass of water, let alone snacks or sweets. No one waited for his eyes to meet theirs. He sat there for hours, fixing what others broke, then quietly folded up and left. He came alone, left alone. No one noticed how long it took him to rise, how he sometimes scuffed into his shawl when the dust rose too high. His shawl was always the same, mustard-colored, with a torn edge he never seemed to fix. I was 9, and for reasons I couldn't explain then, I started sitting beside him. While other kids bought sweets or chased tires or tried on sunglasses they had no intention of buying, I'd save my allowance to bring him chai in a steel tumbler. Even when it went cold because I walked slowly with care to not spill it, he'd say, "Too hot." I think he knew exactly how to receive things, but rarely did. Once, I offered him 5 rupees for some spoons he'd reshaped so neatly they looked almost new. He took 1 rupee and gently pushed my hand away. It felt rude for a moment. I didn't fully understand then, but I never forgot it. No one asked him where he lived, which village he came from, whether he walked or cycled, whether he had children. He was just there, like the tree, like the dust, like the bazaar itself. A fixture people looked through, not at. Sometimes I try to ask him things. Where he learned to fix metal, if he does anything else for a better pay. He'd smile a little, half listening, then bend back to his work as if the spoon in his hand held more of a story than anything I could ask. He came winter through summer. Even when the wind was cruel or the ground turned hot as a pan, he sat on that sack, hammering metal into usefulness. Until one Thursday, he didn't. People noticed, of course, not his absence, but the absence of his hands, of his service. "Who'll fix this now?" someone muttered, holding up a broken serving spoon. What happened to that old man no one knew, no one had ever asked. They assumed maybe he got too old. Maybe he passed away. Maybe he went back to his village. It didn't matter. What mattered was that the bent utensils would now stay bent. I asked around, waited weeks, walked the far end of the bazaar, hoping he might return. He never did. And the strange thing is, no one remembered his name. I'm not sure he ever told me either. But I remember his hands. I remember how he worked with the patience of someone who expected nothing back. I remember how he'd sometimes glance at the horizon between tasks, not wistfully, but as if counting the daylight left. And I remember how no one really saw him, until he was no longer there. So, here's what I have come to believe. Some people spend their whole lives quietly fixing the world around them. Not for praise, not for money, just because they can. And when they disappear, we don't mourn them. We just start noticing what no longer works.